Hi guys, this is the Golden Girl MD, and you're welcome to yet another video. Today is a very special video. As you can see, I have two wonderful young men, young doctors with me here, and they are going to be sharing with me their experiences from using two different academies, Samson's Academy and Common Stations Academy. This video is very important because I feel like it's very important for us to have all the information that we can get about the various academies in order to enable us to choose the right academy for us. So if you're watching this video, please don't forget to like, share, and comment. And of course, if you haven't already, do subscribe down below, and let's get into the video. So, like I said, I have two young doctors here with me. I'm going to leave them to introduce themselves, starting with Dr. Paul. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you live, and which academy you used.
Okay, good day, guys. My name is Dr. Paul Jide Ateni. I'm from Nigeria, and I've been in the country for about 4 years, and I used the Samson Academy. That was last year, a year ago. So that's it.
All right, great. Nice to meet you, Dr. Paul. I know Dr. Paul because he was one of my study group members, and yeah, it was really nice practicing. It was good to have people to practice with. Yeah, so Dr. Obed, please tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, which academy you used, and yeah, tell us about yourself.
Hello, guys. My name is Dr. Obed Amwakweji. I'm from Ghana, and I used Common Stations Academy this year. Yes, I'm still in Ghana though, but we'll relocate to the UK soon.
Soon. Yes, his leg in Ghana. We say that his leg is standing on something. He will be appearing here soon. So we'll be waiting for you to come. What a blessing. So, guys,
Thank you.
so you use Common Stations Academy, Obed, and Dr. Paul, you use Samson's Academy. So the next question I want to ask is that do you think an academy is necessary? And I'm going to start with Dr. Paul. Do you think an academy is actually necessary when preparing for Plab 2? What are your thoughts?
Well, that's a very good question because at the end of this Samson Academy, I had to ask myself that same question. Do you really think this was necessary? So the thing is, it's a yes and also a no. To me, that's my opinion. Okay, and I will explain myself. I'll start with the no. The no because basically, I'm talking of Samson now. Most of the tutorial, how would I put it, the lectures they give, you get
Yeah.
lectures you could on your own in your own house do for yourself. You could actually do a lot if you use those time. It is set like 8 o'clock to like 7 o'clock thing every
Yeah.
day for 14 days. So it's a long thing, and you do well if you use. To me, I thought to myself I could do well by practicing on my own with my group people, with friends around, than sitting there with those lectures, because it's just reading out pamphlets and all to you. But yeah, it works for some people anyway, a whole lot. I know some people have to form a very concise note for it. And to date, some of us are using those people's notes, their names, like their popular names that we do use. I know you
Yeah.
know about it, Dr. Marigo. So we do use their notes up to now. So
Yeah.
people are good at that. So you have to know what works for you at the end of the day. Then yes, in the sense that you are practicing with your friends. You're in a group. You're talking and everything. You have to have that first-hand experience. I'm talking about the mocks. You have to have that experience, the timing, you sitting in front of a simulator, you responding to an actual simulator that has been trained, to listen and to respond to
Yeah.
you. So that's where the Samsung mocks comes in. And you have 3 tries to do that. They have 3 mocks, the first, the second, and the third. Although people will tell you it's not a yardstick, it's not a guarantee for you to pass the real exam if you pass the mock. I've seen people actually fail the mocks, 3 mocks, but pass the exam. But it's an experience, you are not doing any group stuff via phone. Most of the things we do is on phone. We do our presentation on phone with our group members and all. But in this Samson, you are there looking at this person sitting right in front of you. You are seeing the Siemens, you're seeing the mannequins, you're seeing everything right and live and direct for you to use. So in that area, it's very important that you experience that. However, for the lecture part, to me personally, I think I would have done more with the practicing myself alone. Yeah. So that's my
Okay.
take.
Okay. I mean, well spoken. Dr. Obed, what's your take on this? What do you think? Do you think academies are necessary?
Well, I think it's individualistic um, because considering the fact that wherever you are, you'll be working, you are coming to a new system, and Plab 2 is an exam with a lot of uncertainties. You don't really know what they're expecting you to
Yeah.
do. Even after my exam, when I look at some of the results, there are some stations that I felt that, oh, I did well in IPS, I did well in history taking, but then the results will surprise you. So it has a lot of so many uncertainties. So I think that the academies help to resolve some of those uncertainties. Like they help to streamline your preparation, what to say, what not to say, what to ask, what not to ask, how to do certain procedures in a way that the exams expect you to do it. So in that sense, the academies help. However, I think that for some people, they are still able to get access to most of the preparation materials that is needed without the academy. And they feel confident enough with those ones. At the end of the day, I think it boils down to practicing and how you prepare for the exam. So if you are lucky enough to have people who have had experiences to guide you in your practice and preparation, then you may as well be able to pass the exam without an academy. But if you do not really have the privilege of having that, then it becomes quite challenging. I'm sure yourself, you may not really feel confident enough because
Yeah.
you're not sure if what you are doing is the right thing and if what you are doing is good enough to let you pass. And considering the fact that Plab 2 is very capital intensive for most of us as IMGs, you want to, I mean, take your best shot. I've seen people who have written that they paid for an academy, bought notes from another academy, paid to do mocks with another academy, and all
Yeah.
that, just to make sure that they are really prepared and then take the exam in one shot. But anyway, there are still people who still do academy, higher numbers of people who still do academy and not pass the first time. So it's really up to you. But for me, I think it's helped me. An academy helped to resolve most of the uncertainties that I had about the exam. But it's not 100%. Yeah, there are still a
Yeah.
lot of.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. That it's not 100%. The fact that you've done an academy doesn't mean that you passed the exam, and the fact that you didn't do an academy doesn't mean that you will not pass the exam. Like
Yeah.
there's no certainty over here. For me, also, the academy helped me with regards to the mocks. I think that's the best part of the academy for me because it helped to boost my confidence. Not really with regards to the material itself, because you can do online mocks and everything, but then just that setting and helping to boost my confidence, helping me to see which areas that I have to work on and stuff. So that's what I got from the academy. But like they're all saying, the academy can be very cost intensive. If you feel like you can't afford it, there are lots of other ways to go about it. Okay, so the next question I'll ask, and I'll start with Obed. So you did Common Stations Academy. How much did you
Yeah.
pay for your academy, and what were the things that you received in that package?
Okay. So common stations, I paid roughly £600. Yeah.
Oh,
And
pounds.
then, common stations does not have the group package thing that Samson has.
Yeah,
So
the
whether you are
discount.
bringing 10 people or nothing, everybody pays the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
So the package involved an initial online 2 weeks lectures, which was I think 4 hours a day roughly. Then after that, you have a 2 weeks morning to evening, um, also online lectures with role play. So basically, for that second 2 weeks in the morning, they will do lectures and then take a break. And after the break, when they come, they are usually role play. So you bring a scenario, an exam scenario, and then ask some of the participants to take a history and all that. So it's like an interactive session, which I think was quite good, better than the lectures here, because the lectures, the things that are taught are things that I think everybody knows already from medical school and from their practice. So the role plays really helped. Then afterwards, there is an examination. So when you come to the UK, then there's an examination session. So they'll teach you all the examination stations, the clinical procedure stations, and the other things. So that is also arranged. Then there is a session for Simman, which that's one of the issues that the common stations have to work on, because the session for Simman is just 1 hour. So I think it is done in batches of two, and you have just 1 hour to experience the Simman, and after that you don't really see it again. Then after the examination sessions and the Simman, which also roughly takes about 1 week, then there's an advanced, they call it an advanced workshop, which lasts for 5 days. And it is in that advanced workshop that, so it's also an interactive session. The instructor comes with scenarios in the exam and calls people out of the class to come and try their hands on it, maybe with some timing also done. And after that, he gives feedback and we all learn from that. Then also it's in the advanced workshop that they teach on how to do prescription station, how to do the initial SIMA station. They don't really tell you the kind of scenarios to expect. They just let you experience how maybe air entries on the SIMA, how the pulse of the SIMA feels, and things like you in the advanced workshop that you get to see the kind of scenarios that come in SIMAN. And then also in the advanced workshop that they teach how to do prescription station and how to do combined station. So that is the package involved. Yeah, that's the package involved. And then there's mocks. You get to do 2 mocks. The mocks are not like Samson's mocks. So it's there's no professional simulator. So what they use basically people, other IMGs who have passed through the academy and passed the exam. So they act as the simulator and also act as your examiner, sort of. So you go through the station, but the mock does not involve prescription station and it does not involve SIMMAN. And at the end of the day, they give you subjective feedback. So it's not like something where they'll tell you, okay, you had this score and you passed or you failed. So it's subjective. At the end of the day, you go to each of the examiners and then they'll tell you that, okay, you did this well, you didn't do this well, you did this well, you didn't do this well. So it's kind of subjective. Some people really give very good feedback. Others do they tell you things that you probably knew already after you've done your self-assessment after the. So that is the package. I'm sure we'll come to maybe some of the challenges, but that's the package in a nutshell.
Yeah, definitely. All right, great. So Dr. Paul, Samson's Academy, how much did you pay for it? What were the things involved?
Yeah, it was 500 and something, if I'm not mistaken, pounds.
Right, I think you were in a group of 5, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in a group of 5, so I paid that amount. If you're in a group of 5, it's being subsidized. So
I think it
about
was
500
550 at
pounds.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
550.
Yeah, 550. Yeah, so that was what I paid. And the resources, okay, there was a 14 days intensive lectures where they'll be reading out cases on how to approach them. And it was 14 days, right? It was.
Yeah.
It was 14 days because I will never forget those 2 weeks. I had I had families and I couldn't excuse me, I couldn't do the online classes. It was online. I couldn't go to Manchester and I live in Swindon. So I had to be driving down to my friend's place. Yeah, he lives alone with his wife, no kids, nobody, nothing. So they just gave me a room. So I just stayed there till, from 8 to 7 p.m., 7:30, sometimes 8. So that's the 14 days lecture. And there's what we call genius class. So that genius class is like a video where there are lots of cases being talked about. So the owner of the academy, Samson himself, will be seated, trying to give you guidelines and approach to stations. Very brave. It's very short. That's why we all love that junior stations because it's no long stories.
Yeah,
Just go straight to the point.
summarized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
summarize everything in bullet points. The videos are there for you. Most of the cases, in short, 98% of the cases are on that website, where you get access to it. So I enjoyed that because I was listening to it even while you're driving, while you're in the bus, anywhere, while you're cooking, you have that to keep reminding you of how to approach stations. So that's one of the package. The other package is the fact that you have access to mannequins. So after that 14 days lecture, I had to go to Manchester because I had to do my mock. So it was during those mock period I had to be, I was exposed to the mannequins, the Siemens, all other tools that are needed for the Plab 2, all your apparatus, your otoscope, your speculum, your everything there, anything you need for the exam, just as it's going to be on the exam day, you see it there. So there's a room for that where you go in and you see all those things, and you can join in any group. You see people forming groups and trying to practice with all this stuff. So you just walk in, pick any group you want to pick. Nobody's going to, criticize you or, condemn you for anything. You go there, you do your thing, you practice, then you go for your mock. There are three mocks, that's one of the package too. Three mocks. And in those mocks, there are feedbacks that they're going to give to you. They're going to send it to your email. Just the way the Plab 2 result is going to be the same way the feedback is going to be. But the only difference is they're going to put some smileys on it. They're going to put some smileys on it so you can see how you do. Those smileys are to tell how you were presenting yourself to the simulator. If you
yeah,
were smiling, if you were frowning, if you were okay. So it was later on I realized that they are very important because in the real exam you have to put up this good warming up, well, persona. You have to
yeah,
be very cheerful. Make the patient feel very comfortable, and also he's giving you those smileys to tell you where to work on, and to
yeah,
see how you're doing. So that's about all the packages, and the result is the same thing. Tell you that okay, you got 10 stations, you get 9, you got 15 stations, you got this station. So that's what it did, and that was all about the packages. I don't think there's any other thing there. Okay, there's one video report in one of the stations. They are going to video you live and send it to him, the Samson himself. But you probably might not see him on that day or during all your, is it 1 week or 2 weeks of Samson. So, but that video is going to see it and it's going to send you a report personally to tell you, to show you how you've done and how you are, well prepared for the exam. So that's all for the packages of this of
yeah.
Samson.
Yeah, I think with Samsons, another package, another thing they did. I don't know what it was called. Is it master class or juniors class?
Oh yeah, that master class thing. Yeah,
That was
yeah,
really helpful. Where we had
it
the
was.
different mannequins, all the
Yeah,
mannequin procedure stations. It was another day where they took us through that, which was also quite
yeah.
good. Okay, the next thing I need to know is what are some of the things you liked about your academy briefly, and then what are some of the things that you think they can improve on with regards to your academy? And I'm going to start with Dr. Paul. With Samson's Academy, what are the things that you liked about them, and what are the things that you also think they could work on briefly?
Okay, okay. The things I liked about the academy are the fact that you have to come in contact with all these seamans and all these mannequins. Everything they are there, so you have to practice it before. Many people had to see that for the first time in the exam. And it was quite challenging. When you get there, you start seeing things, and you're like, well, here is this. How do I use this? How do I, But in the Samson class, you get to ask questions. How do I use this apparatus? How do I use this tool? How do I do this? And your friends are going to teach you everything, tell you everything, and that's that. And as regards what I think would have been better, the 2 weeks class, for God's sake, they could do better than just sitting down and just reading manuals to you. This was the reason why I wasn't very constant in medical school going for lecturers, because most lecturers are like that. I was always the stubborn type. I hate going to lectures with those kind of lecturers. So
Mm,
but when they now start telling you you have to fulfill some percentage as part of your stuff, so I have to go because I have to
yeah.
get a certain percentage of attendance, which will be added to my overall exam, and also, but it's boring. Honestly, it's boring. They could do better. See, there was one guy that did this online stuff. He's a Nigerian, and Samson called him, and that was the first and only time we met this guy. And we're all crying that where is this guy? It
Mm,
was so interesting that we lost track of time from the
wow.
morning. This is 7 o'clock. We're still waiting. We're still hoping. Like, guy, don't leave. Stay. 8 o'clock. We're still begging him. It was like, it's his time, because he was telling you practical things. He
Mm,
forgot the yes. You have to use all the performers to dictate to people to write and all. It's here, but the annoying part of it is they are still going to send you all this performer to your email. You're going to see everything here. So why just recite, just do something, be creative. So this guy was very creative, telling you the tactics to address, to do this, making it. That was the first time I realized that the exam is actually not as difficult as we were saying it. Because it will
mm,
tell you it's not difficult. This is you call it structures. Follow the structure, do this. And it was giving you practical scenarios. So we loved the
mm.
guy so much, but we didn't see him again. Then there was one other guy too from Somalia. That guy is very good too. So yeah, if they could bring more of those people and less of those stiff ones, it will be better. Yeah, so that's just my issues with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very good feedback, because the main aim of this video is also to make the academies also do better, because
Yeah.
we are paying a lot of money for these
A lot of
academies,
money.
and so we need to get the best value out of our money. All right, so Dr.
Yeah.
Obed, common stations, what are some of the things that you liked about them, and what are the things that you think they can improve on briefly?
Okay, all right. So for common stations, the majority of the teaching is done by Dr. Hamid, who is the founder and owner, so to
Okay.
speak. And his teaching is quite good. So it's very interactive. It's not um, reading to us. So the lectures were okay. It's quite interactive. It's able to capture the attention of the participants. The online role plays too were very good because as he calls people to try their hands on various scenarios, you get to see mistakes. You'll also be called. Definitely you'll be called, except you hide throughout. But he rotates the people that he calls. So it puts you on your toes and you get to see the practicality of everything that he's teaching. Then when you also come to the academy, you have access to the mannequins, the
Mm,
various other materials, the BNF and other things. So you can just use them um, as much as you like within the opening hours of the academy. And you also get to meet other people that you can practice with. So those are some of the good things about common stations. My issues were number one, I did not really like how they structure. So the thing with common stations is that when you book the academy, you are given the outline for the initial introductory course for 2 weeks, and
mm,
then the main 2 weeks course with the role play. But you are not really told when you are not given the chance to book your examination week in advance, to book your advanced face to face workshop in advance, and things like that. So it was getting to the latter part of the um, online role play course that we were given the options for the advanced face-to-face workshop and the examination dates. And at that time, okay, my exam was quite close because we
Mm.
did a course in January and my exam was in March. So I'd already planned my itinerary and my
Yeah.
traveling and all that. And none of the dates for the examination in advance, none of them worked with my schedule. And it was
Oh.
too late to change. So eventually I did 3 days of the advanced face-to-face workshop, and then the next day I was going to write the exam. The
Oh wow.
examination I didn't get to do it. Just that fortunately, um, some of my colleagues and friends did the examination, so I sort of learned from what they had also learned, but I didn't get
Mhm.
to partake in the examination and all that. So, but if the whole structure was made known to you at the time
Yeah.
of booking, then you can plan with it. But if it is introduced to you as when you move on, then sometimes it disturbs your schedule. Then the second thing is that common stations give us PDF notes of the lectures, but
Okay.
they also had scripts of many scenarios, a very big material, which they don't give to you. They only give hard copies of that material, and it's a
Really?
very big material, huge. They don't give, there are no soft copies of that. And so you come to the academy and then you're handed over, it's in a big file, huge one, that you probably even struggle to carry home. And I was like, oh, 21st century, at least give it to us. If you want to protect it,
Yeah.
but give it to us. And that's what we mainly used to practice, the scenarios and
Mm.
all that. Fortunately for me, myself and my friends, we had access to some material that was around. And so we were practicing before, but there was one guy who had never seen any material like that. And he had just 1 month to
Mm.
his exam. And he came and
Yes.
then they gave him that big material, hundreds to thousands of scenarios. I mean, he was overwhelmed, and he was scared. So
Yeah.
I think that that is something that they could have done better. Give the material, give a soft copy. At least, if you want to protect it, you put a protecting password or something on it. But the hard copy, because almost all of us we left ours. I was staying with my friends, so my own hard copy, I didn't even take it home. It was too big, too big to carry around. So my friends
Yeah.
had some of theirs at home, so we were just using it together. So then the other area is the sim man. I felt that the time you have to interact with the sim man was too short.
Mm.
Because the initial 1 hour that you have with the sim man, you don't get to practice the scenarios. In the
Yeah.
advanced phase, in the advanced workshop, Dr. Hamed calls people to come and practice scenarios on the sim man. But out of the class, there are only a few people that get the
To
opportunity to
do
be
it.
called. I was called, I think, because he also knew that my exam was close and all that. So I was
Mm.
called to be able to practice. But if you don't get a chance to be called to practice the scenarios on the sim man, then it becomes difficult because that one
Yeah.
hour session is not exhaustive enough. Uh, then the other thing it has to do with the mocks, the mocks. So I just don't see why prescription and SIMAN are not part of the mocks. I think that I was just surprised to find out that there's no prescription and there's no SIMAN as part of the mocks. Those are
Yeah.
prescription is a station that if you do it well, you can easily get marks from there. Same as SIMAN, but they were not part of the mocks, and I think that's something that they have to consider. I don't know whether they are trying to preserve their SIMAN. Their SIMAN there is correct, it's nice and all that, working properly. But I think that it should be part of the mocks. Then the other thing about the mocks is that the feedback is subjective. Well, maybe they may have their reasons. Sometimes objective feedback telling somebody that he failed or passed, people take it differently. But the subjective
Mm.
feedback too is too subjective. It's too subjective. It really depends on the individuals, and the individuals are not like maybe people who are experienced working in the UK. There are people who have also recently passed their exam, and so it makes well, there was one particular instructor that we all didn't like because his reception was some way and his feedback was not to the point, talking about things that are unnecessary. So the mocks It's good. It gives you an experience. The timing and everything is just like the exam cases, because a number of the cases that I had in my mock actually came in my exam, about six of them. But the feedback is subjective. There were some feedbacks that are good, so it usually depends on the particular instructor that you get to do your mock for you. Uh, yeah, so those are some of the things about common stations that I think they can improve upon.
Improve upon. All right. So this has been a very, very helpful, very educative interaction. I hope that for those of us watching, it helps us to, to see, the various academies and what they entail and to help us to make informed decisions. Also, I hope that different academies are watching this video as well so that they can improve on the things that they offer, because I mean we do pay quite a lot of money and we all want to get the best out of the money we have paid, irrespective of the academy. So please, if you could take note of these things and improve upon um, certain things in your academy, that will be lovely. So thank you so much for being with us. What are your final words as we end this video? Final words, Dr. Paul, final words.
Okay, my final words is yeah, like you said earlier, it's you do the more sorry, the academy, you don't do it. It's not a guarantee, but the very first thing you have to understand is you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. Like my wife, my own issue was the 14 days. My wife's own was the whole academy. She was like, I should have just stayed at home. Because that's her personality. She, all the time I've known her, all her exams and all, she hates all this group thing, presenting in groups, talking in groups. She hates it. She does her thing privately herself, and she does exceptionally well in that. So you have to know yourself. I met some people in my exams too that they didn't attend any academy. I saw a guy, I was like, did you do anything? And he said, no academy. So you are just coming to write exam like that. I say, yes, you just did some mocks with some group of people that are coming to write the exams too. And they were like one FY2 person there and just gave review and that's it. Are you kidding me? Are you sure? He was like, yes, nothing, no mock, nothing. And when we came out of the exam, we were in sync. What I was saying was what he was saying. Everything was okay, all of us together. You won't even know who did academia and who didn't or whatever you get. So you have to know yourself. I'm good in public speaking, very good at that. And I felt even if I had not done more, maybe I would have still survived the exam itself. So you still have to know yourself, know what you wanted and how you are designed to practice or to read exams. So people need that experience. They need that uh, exam feeling. When you do, I don't know if they, in my country they have what called for inter-house sports. There's something they call it period. You have to practice. So they want to feel that experience before the main experience. So people work with that. But some people don't care. They are very good at just give me the materials. I'll practice. I would have just one member, one person to practice with, and that's it. I have a friend that did the same thing. She just had a girl, a female. She is a female too, and both of them they were taking 10 stations every day. Nothing like group stuff, nothing like that. Every day. And she went and she passed all her stations.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, just know who you are and what
You
you
are.
do. Yeah, so that's just what I think.
All right, Dr. Obed, final words.
All right. So I think that what I'll say in conclusion is that the exam is an exam that people pass. So you should not really depend solely on an academy to pass. You must put in your own individual effort. Like I mentioned, I did not even get to complete my advanced face-to-face workshop. I did not get to do my examination, but because of practicing with friends and colleagues, it covered those gaps. So, and there are people who have also passed the exam without an academy. So, at the end of the day, it comes down to your personal preparation, how you, because there are people who have also done academies who have to take the exams a number of times, even with the academy. So it does not really guarantee your pass, but your individual effort makes more impact in the exam. And then I also think that it's good to, I mean, people are different, but for me, it helped to interact with other people who are also preparing for the exam. And if you can get one or two people to be practicing with, it helps. You get to also learn from others. When you also, if you get a chance to go to an academy, you should open up to practice with other people. That will also give you, you learn from other people's knowledge, you learn from their experiences. You learn some of, there are even things like IPS that you realize some people are very good with. You learn some of the phrases and the words that they use and all that. So, but all in all, at the end of the day, it comes down to your individual preparation, how you practice, how you study and prepare for the exam, with or without an academy.
Mm, okay. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Obed. Thank you so much, Dr. Paul, for your time and for being here. I'm sure we've all learned a lot. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. And of course, if you haven't already, do click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.